Your lonely old age? 6 must-have things to avoid a life of regret, doctors and older adults reveal. Have you ever truly feared what old age might hold if you don't prepare? It's not the gray hair or the wrinkles that truly steal your joy. It's not just slowing down. No, the real terror, the silent agony, lies in the absence of certain crucial things that bring meaning, connection, and joy to your golden years. Too many people sadly assume that misery in old age is just inevitable, that loneliness, boredom, and deep regret are simply part of the package. But that couldn't be further from the devastating truth. What truly makes the difference, what separates a life of quiet suffering from one of profound peace and dignity, are 6 simple, yet utterly essential elements that most people don't even realize they're desperately missing. On our channel, Happy Life Secrets, we're here to reveal these life-changing truths. In this video, we'll walk you through 6 vital things that every person needs in their 70s and beyond to feel whole, cherished, and truly alive. These aren't luxuries. They aren't complicated. But when they are missing, the days start to feel longer, the nights colder, and your spirit begins to dim. Stay with us until the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you won't just understand what's been missing. You'll know exactly how to start bringing it back. These 6 things aren't just nice to have. Without them, old age can feel utterly hollow. But with them, something truly shifts. Joy returns, confidence blossoms, and you remember exactly who you are, not just who you used to be. Let's uncover these powerful secrets to a life truly lived. Important thing number 1, the anchor of purpose, a meaningful daily routine. Have you ever felt your days just blurring together, one indistinguishable from the next? Without a sense of purpose to guide you, even in the smallest ways, that's exactly what happens. You wake up, go through the motions, and by evening you wonder where the time vanished. But it's not just about the clock. It's about a quiet ache, a nagging feeling that something vital is missing, even if you can't quite name it. That's because purpose, even in its smallest form, is the anchor that gives structure to your time and deep meaning to your every movement. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to feel like it matters to you. Let me share the story of Walter, a 76-year-old retired mechanic. For the first few years of retirement, he simply took it easy. At first, it felt like blissful freedom. No alarms, no rigid schedules. But gradually, his energy dipped, his mood darkened, and his sleep became restless. What felt like rest slowly transformed into a gnawing emptiness. When asked how he spent his days, he paused, unable to truly answer. That heartbreaking silence spoke volumes. The truth is, humans are wired for rhythm and purpose, and as we age, that fundamental need doesn't disappear. It becomes even more crucial. The happiest older adults aren't always the ones with the most freedom, but the ones with the clearest focus. They might lovingly tend to their garden every morning, devour a new book chapter daily, write heartfelt letters, organize treasured belongings, feed the birds, or simply call a friend. These aren't just ordinary rituals. They are lifelines, anchors that connect them to life. A purposeful routine creates a beautiful framework for your day. It helps you wake up with intention and go to bed with quiet satisfaction. It gives your mind something exciting to anticipate, your body a reason to move, and your heart something to stay open to. Even better, it creates opportunities for genuine connection. People check in, you share progress, you teach, you listen. But when that structure is removed, when days stretch aimlessly without direction, loneliness creeps in, and you begin to feel like you're simply drifting, not truly living. That's when sadness grows, not from a single event, but from the slow, insidious erosion of meaning. So, if you're feeling that dull emptiness, the kind that doesn't shout but slowly settles in, ask yourself, what are my days built around? Then choose just one small thing. Something to do each morning or evening, something to track or return to. That small, consistent thread can become a powerful lifeline, not just to a better day, but to a happier, more fulfilled you. Important thing number 2, the power of movement, sustaining physical vitality with small habits. Have you noticed how even simple tasks can feel heavier than they used to? Physical energy isn't just about staying fit. It's about staying vibrantly engaged with life itself. When your body starts to slow down even slightly, everything else begins to feel like a monumental effort. Getting out of bed, making a meal, a trip to the store, it all demands just a little more. And when that effort isn't supported by small, consistent habits, people often retreat, not out of laziness, but because their bodies no longer feel like allies. Consider Harold, an 81-year-old who had always been strong and active. But after an unexpected illness, he stopped moving as much. Just for a few weeks, he told himself. But those weeks turned into months. His muscles weakened, his joints stiffened, and his confidence withered. Soon, even short walks felt daunting. What Harold didn't know then, but what doctors now passionately emphasize, is this. Small, consistent physical habits, done daily, are often far more powerful than occasional, exhausting efforts. You don't need a gym, heavy weights, or hour-long sessions. What you need is movement that meets you exactly where you are. Imagine 10 minutes of gentle stretching in the morning, light resistance band work in the afternoon, or even simple leg lifts while brushing your teeth. These small, deliberate actions compound over time. They preserve strength, protect your joints, and keep your blood flowing. But most importantly, they powerfully remind you that your body is still capable. And that feeling, that deep sense that you are still capable, is one of the strongest antidotes to misery in old age. When your body moves, your mind follows. Energy rises, your mood improves, and you actually look forward to the day instead of dreading it. Those small physical efforts also give you a quiet sense of pride, not the kind that comes from comparison, but the deep, personal satisfaction that whispers, "I showed up for myself today." The challenge many seniors face isn't a lack of desire. It's the damaging belief that if they can't do what they used to, it's not worth doing at all. But that's a dangerous myth. The truth is, what you do now doesn't need to look like what you did before. It just needs to keep you feeling strong, steady, and mobile. That's enough. That's more than enough. When you choose to move your body, even gently, you're not just maintaining your health. You're reclaiming your precious space in the world. You're declaring, "I still belong here. I still have places to go, things to reach for, and people to show up for." If you're finding these insights valuable for your own happy life secrets, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I passionately recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support truly helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's keep moving forward. Important thing number 3, the embrace of connection, emotional bonds with others. One of the quietest, most agonizing forms of suffering in old age isn't physical at all. It's deeply emotional, and it often begins with something as subtle as silence. A few missed calls, fewer invitations, a longer pause between visits. First, it just feels like space. But slowly, insidiously, that space morphs into crushing isolation. Before long, a person begins to wonder, does anyone even see me anymore? The heartbreaking truth is, emotional connection isn't just something we enjoy. It's something we profoundly need, especially as we grow older. Let me introduce you to Ruth, a 78-year-old widow who had always been surrounded by friends. But as time passed, some friends moved away, others passed on, and her children became busy with their own lives. Though she hated to complain, she began to feel a deep ache that wasn't physical. It was a feeling that no one truly knew her anymore, that her stories had no place to land, that she was slowly, heartbreakingly disappearing. What Ruth was missing wasn't noise or constant activity. It was genuine connection, the kind that comes from being truly heard, from laughing with someone who deeply understands your past, from sitting in comfortable silence with someone who simply cares that you're there. That kind of connection nourishes our souls. It reminds us that we matter, that we belong. Doctors now understand that emotional isolation is just as harmful as a chronic illness. It skyrockets stress levels, dramatically increases the risk of dementia, and even tragically shortens lifespan. But beyond the science, there's something even more urgent. Loneliness steals joy. It turns the days gray, makes everything feel heavier, harder. And worst of all, it cruelly convinces people that reaching out is a burden, when in reality it's a lifeline. But connection doesn't always require a huge family or a packed social calendar. Sometimes it starts with just one consistent relationship, a neighbor you check in with weekly, a group you meet with twice a month, a cousin you call every Sunday. It might mean joining a book club, a walking group, or even a virtual discussion. The goal isn't to be constantly surrounded by people. It's to feel emotionally seen by even just one. If that feels far away right now, start small. Offer a warm smile to someone at the store, send a heartfelt note to a relative, or ask for help with a simple tech issue. Not just because you need it, but because you know connection thrives in those small moments of shared effort. Because at the heart of it, we all crave the same thing: to be known, to be missed, to be cared about. When that disappears, misery truly creeps in, not because life has gotten worse, but because it's no longer shared. But when even one thread of connection is woven back in, something profound changes. Life becomes warmer, lighter, infinitely more worth waking up for. Important thing number 4, the mind's playground: mental stimulation and curiosity. When the body begins to slow down, one of the greatest treasures we still possess is our incredible mind. But too often, that gift goes unwrapped. It sits quietly in the background while routines repeat, conversations shrink, and the thrill of novelty fades. Without fresh mental stimulation, without the excitement of a new idea or the satisfying challenge of figuring something out, life can begin to feel flat. Not necessarily painful, just dull. And over time, that dullness becomes a quiet, soul-crushing form of misery. Let me tell you about Leonard, an 83-year-old retired accountant who once thrived on solving complex problems. After retiring, he felt relieved to finally have time for rest. But soon, the days became repetitive. He watched the same shows, read the same newspaper columns, and went to bed feeling more tired than inspired. It wasn't until his thoughtful granddaughter gifted him a set of crossword puzzles that something truly shifted. At first, he struggled even with the easy ones, but he persevered, and soon he eagerly looked forward to them each morning. His memory sharpened, his mood lifted, and most importantly, his deep-seated curiosity reignited. Doctors often say, use it or lose it, but what they truly mean is this: your brain needs challenge the way your muscles need movement. It craves stimulation, and when that stimulation is missing, boredom creeps in. Slowly, quietly, and often unnoticed. And boredom that lingers long enough begins to chip away at joy itself. But the opposite is also gloriously true. The moment your mind is reawakened, your world suddenly feels bigger, richer, again. Mental stimulation doesn't have to mean studying philosophy or learning a new language, though it absolutely can. It can also mean diving into a new book genre, learning a new game, trying a completely new recipe, or even simply asking questions you've never asked before. It can be as simple as journaling your thoughts, solving puzzles, or learning how to use a new app. The point isn't perfection, it's participation. It's the willingness to keep engaging, even when the world tries to tell you that you've had your turn. And here's something truly powerful to remember: mental stimulation leads to emotional resilience. When your brain is active, you're more adaptable, more optimistic, and far more capable of finding meaning in unexpected places. Curiosity becomes a guiding light that helps you see what's still gloriously possible, not just what's already past. Some people mistakenly think aging means settling into routines that never change, but that's a recipe for quiet disconnection. Growth doesn't stop at 60 or 70 or 80, it just changes shape. The questions become different, the pace slows, but the hunger to learn, to explore, to feel mentally alive, it's still there. It always has been. And when you give that vital part of yourself a little attention each day, something profound happens. You feel more awake, more alert, more intensely interested in the vibrant world around you. And that spark, once lit, powerfully pushes back against the shadows that boredom and stagnation bring. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable for your happy life secrets, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I truly recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our empowering videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's continue this journey. Important thing number 5. The shield of self-worth. Upholding your dignity. There comes a point in life when, unfairly, the world might start looking at you differently. Cashiers speak slower, doctors speak over you, family members make decisions without asking. And slowly, subtly, without anyone meaning to, you might begin to feel small, as if your value has somehow expired, as if you're just an extra in the background of everyone else's busy lives. But here's the absolute truth. Growing older does not make you less important. Losing certain abilities does not make you less worthy. And needing help does not, under any circumstances, mean you've lost your dignity. What truly causes misery in old age is forgetting your inherent worth, or worse, being treated as if it's gone. Let me share the story of Carol, a 77-year-old former nurse who had spent decades tirelessly caring for others. But after a fall left her relying on a walker, she noticed people started treating her differently. Conversations went around her, not to her. Strangers assumed she couldn't think for herself. Even family began speaking in a softer, almost condescending tone, as if she were fragile in every way. Carol didn't resent the help. What she desperately missed was the respect, the sense that she was still capable of making her own choices. The loss of dignity, not the walker, is what truly wore her down. Doctors and researchers alike are now understanding how absolutely vital it is for older adults to feel seen, respected, and deeply involved in their own lives. When people are treated with dignity, when they're given choices, asked for their opinions, and treated as equals, their health remarkably improves, their confidence soars, and most importantly, their spirit stays vibrantly intact. But when that's missing, something profound begins to shut down, not just emotionally, but physically. Because there's nothing more utterly exhausting than feeling like you don't matter. And it's not just about how others treat you, it's powerfully about how you treat yourself. Are you still speaking kindly to yourself? Are you giving yourself proper credit for the wisdom, the endurance, and the countless experiences that have shaped you? Do you look in the mirror and see someone who still deserves to be respected, even on the hardest days? Self-worth doesn't come from fleeting achievements. It doesn't come from looking young or moving fast. It comes from remembering your unique, powerful story, from knowing that you've lived, loved, lost, learned, and triumphantly kept going. That deserves profound honor. Every wrinkle has a reason, every scar tells a tale, and every single day you keep showing up is a quiet act of immense strength. So, if the world has made you feel invisible, let this be your powerful reminder. Your worth was never based on how fast you walked or how much you could carry. It was never about titles or appearances. It's about your presence, about who you are. And who you are right now, exactly as you are, is still needed, still valuable, and still profoundly worthy of dignity. Important thing number 6. The gift of being needed, your essential role. There's a particular kind of quiet emptiness that settles in when you no longer feel truly needed. It's not the same as loneliness. It's something deeper, something that speaks directly to your fundamental sense of purpose. When no one calls for your advice, when your presence feels optional instead of essential, when you could disappear for a few days and no one even notices, that's when the real, crushing weight of old age can set in. Because deep down, every single one of us desperately wants to matter to someone. We want to know that our life still adds something vital to someone else's. Let me tell you about Frank, an 84-year-old man who had raised a family, built a successful business, and been a rock to his community. But in his later years, after his wife passed and his kids moved far away, something heartbreakingly shifted. They still loved him, of course. They called sometimes, but the day-to-day interactions were gone. The small favors, the little questions, those "can you help me with this?" moments. And without those, Frank began to feel like he had slowly, tragically become invisible, as if the world was simply fine without him. But then, a neighbor's child started coming by after school, just to chat. Frank would share stories, listen to her ideas, and gently encourage her drawings. It was small, 15 minutes, a few times a week. But it changed everything for Frank. He had something to prepare for, someone to look forward to, someone who needed him. Not for what he used to be, but for the incredible, wise person he still was. Doctors have found that feeling useful, even in the smallest ways, can dramatically lower depression, reduce cognitive decline, and even extend life expectancy. But beyond the cold studies, there's something even more profound. Being needed ignites hope. It gives you a powerful reason to show up. It pulls you out of yourself and back into the vibrant flow of the world. And being needed doesn't always come from family. Sometimes, it's the loyal dog that waits for your morning walk, the friend who counts on your phone call, the volunteer group that notices your absence, or the neighbor who lights up when you wave from the porch. What truly matters is not how many people need you, but that at least one does. And if you're sitting there thinking, "No one needs me anymore," let me passionately challenge that belief. There is always someone who could benefit from your unique presence, your invaluable wisdom, your quiet kindness. Someone younger, someone lonely, someone struggling. Even reaching out to offer encouragement to someone else can powerfully restart the cycle. When you feel needed, you begin to see your life through a different, brighter lens. You stand a little taller, you care a little more, and you feel once again like you truly belong. Because the truth is, we never outgrow the fundamental need to be needed. And when that need is met, even in a quiet, humble way, it makes life sweeter, fuller, and infinitely more worth living. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable for your happy life secrets, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I strongly recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our empowering videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's share some final thoughts. Final thoughts. Choosing joy in your golden years. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause and deeply reflect. Not just on what you've heard, but on what you've felt. Maybe something stirred within you. Maybe one of these 6 things felt a little too familiar. Or perhaps you realized that what's been missing in your life isn't as complicated as you once thought. Because the truth is, old age itself isn't inherently miserable. What makes it feel that way is the absence of the very things that make us feel alive. Let's look back at these powerful pillars for a truly happy old age. A purposeful routine to lovingly guide your day. Small, consistent physical habits that infuse you with energy and capability. Deep emotional connections that powerfully remind you you're never truly alone. Engaging mental stimulation that keeps your brilliant mind sharp and curious. Unwavering self-worth that fiercely upholds your inherent dignity. And the profound, irreplaceable feeling of being needed by someone or something. None of these require perfect health, a packed social calendar, or youthful strength. They simply require intention and the willingness to bravely reach toward what your spirit already knows you need. These 6 elements are like quiet, constant companions. They don't shout, they don't demand, but when they're present, life feels infinitely richer, more vibrant. And when they're gone, you feel it in your bones, even if you don't yet have the words for it. So, I want to leave you with this powerful message. It is not too late. Whether you're 60 or 90, today can be the day you begin to rebuild what's been missing. Start with one small action, one new habit, one heartfelt phone call, one firm decision to honor your own incredible worth, even if no one else notices just yet. Thank you for joining us today on Happy Life Secrets. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share just one small action you plan to take this week to bring one of these 6 essential things back into your life. Your thoughts are so important to us, and reading your comments gives us immense motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it truly helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.